Do you guys want a girl?
Abby kept bringing babies up to me the other day at a party we were at.
I wasn't bringing it up in conversation. I was actually holding physical babies.
So I think it was clear from that Abby already has baby fever. I asked ChatGPT, is there a benefit seeing your wife shower every day?
Why did you feel the need to ChatGPT everything?
I feel like my brain is getting smarter.
I feel like you're actually cheating on me with ChatGPT. Are you comfortable with your children one day watching you talk about intimate topics?
We're going to have that talk with them one day.
I'm not ashamed. I want to have a good open dialogue with our children, and I think that's like just safer in general. There's a guy that repeatedly DMs me every time my foot is... He's like, you have gorgeous feet, sexy feet.
Welcome back to the Unplanned podcast.
And Happy New Year.
This is episode 100. Can we just give it up? Episode 100. We were going to have a cake today, but... you know, very on brand for us. We didn't plan it. So who
was going to get us a cake?
I was going to have a cake, and then we were going to play a game, and then whoever lost the game was going to get their head shoved into the cake for episode 100.
Wow, that would have been fun.
Yeah, it would have been fun. So maybe one day we'll do that.
Maybe.
We can just...
It would have had to be you because I washed my hair today.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that again.
Your hair looks really good, by the way. I like it. You just got it all done up.
I got my hair done, and
everyone
was like, I don't see a difference. Why did you waste your money? And I was like, I knew this was coming. That's just the internet for you. And it was always a man. I was like,
it was a man? A man was saying that?
They're like, I see no difference. And I'm like, of course you don't, sir.
Who are these men watching your videos?
There's a guy that repeatedly DMs me every time my foot is... like, block him.
That's
him. Like,
so
no,
funny.
He's nice.
We need to invite him on the podcast.
No,
we need to get his life story.
No,
I wonder if he likes my feet pictures because everyone keeps asking why my feet pop up on my Instagram stories.
I really don't get that many creepy messages, but he's like, you're so beautiful and sexy. He's been doing it since like 2020.
Are you serious? Every time your foot pulls up, what does he say other than that? Is there like a
you
certain...
have gorgeous feet. Sexy feet.
Like, I think your feet are cute. I just don't understand how a man could think a woman's foot is sexy. That just doesn't really make sense to me.
No,
but
my friends are all like, you need to block him. And I'm like, for what reason?
It's a foot, you know?
Yeah,
it's a freaking foot.
I'm not...
Apparently people make a lot of money on OnlyFans doing that. They'll just post feet pictures every day.
See, I feel like that's a myth. Like, I feel like not anyone can just post their foot.
No, I think it's actually real. I'm pretty sure it's real, and I'm pretty sure there's a website.
Okay, here's my thing about people with foot fetishes, which I shouldn't be talking about on this podcast, but like, why would you pay for that? Like, people are freely putting their feet out. I wear sandals all the time.
Maybe they just want premium foot content.
Well,
which they're going to get on my story. Honestly,
I
probably get a lot of people with foot fetishes on my story because my feet make an appearance like every week.
Don't flatter yourself. No.
Every week, you know? But they're kind of weird looking, but I feel like that's what they're into, right? Like, they're looking for some weird...
That's true. I feel like they want the unique stuff.
You think they're looking for just like a regular dude's foot? No, they want a weird foot.
I feel like I have very regular feet.
They want Gollum feet. That's what I got. I got hairy Gollum feet. My toes are hairy.
I don't think they want... Anyway, I got my hair done, and I tried to fix it today like they did in the salon, and Matt goes, you literally looked at me, I was like, what do you think, babe? And you're like... well, honey, they do hair for a living. You can't, don't worry. And I'm like, oh, so you don't like...
No, it's okay. You can tell. I mean, I'm honest with you.
I know. I love it.
I'm honest Abe over here, okay?
And here's the thing. I actually don't think I'm easily offended.
You know what the nice thing is about honesty? Is when I flatter you...
And you flatter me all the time.
I'm not BSing you. You know it's real every time. I'm not just pulling that up. I'm not trying to just like, woo you.
You will never be just like anytime you tell me that I look good, I know that you're really thinking that.
Yeah. Oh, I really
every
mean
day.
it. I really mean it too.
Every single day.
Like today.
I shower. Matt is always somehow needing to shower at the same time or just be in the bathroom at the exact same time as I'm putting on my lotion. And
I asked ChatGPT about that. I was like,
no,
is there a benefit to seeing your wife shower every day? Because I was like, this is incredible.
Of course you freaking ChatGPT'd that.
Yeah, because I was like, I need to
Were you feeling personal benefits that made you curious if this was a universal thing?
I need some factual information to back up this feeling I have of like, man, I just feel like my soul is filled up to the brim whenever I get to like, just like, wow, hey, there's a beautiful woman with absolutely nothing on. That happens to be the woman that bore my children. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome.
Wow, I'm very flattered by that. But also, why did you feel the need to ChatGPT everything?
I feel like my brain is getting smarter.
I feel like you're actually cheating on me with ChatGPT. Why is it a woman also?
Okay, you know what freaked me out? Is ChatGPT was a woman's voice which was kind of calming. It kind of felt like it was like just like my personal assistant, like, yes, whatever you need, whatever, sir. It changed to a man's voice and it freaked me out.
Wait, you didn't change that on your own?
I didn't change it on my own. So then I was like, did I get hacked? Like, what's going on? It became a British dude.
Well, dude, if your ChatGPT got hacked, that would be a whole other crazy.
It was a black female voice. I could just tell. That's what the ChatGPT voice was. And I thought that was so chill. I was like, I like this. Like, I feel like we're good friends. Yeah. And then it became this, like, white British guy. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, that just threw me off.
Does this person seem less credible to you now?
I think, like, I felt like me and old ChatGPT voice were, like, we had a bond. Like, we were just friends. But now I feel like I have to, be more... Be more official, because like a British accent, I don't know, that just seems like super formal, super together. And as you can tell by the name of the podcast, I'm not someone that has it all together. So
wow.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen if your ChatGPT history got leaked?
People would know, dude. The thing is, people know everything about us. That's the crazy part. Like, I'm like, we put so much out there. What, when we interviewed Danny and Jordan on this podcast, they're like, none of us could ever run for president. We get screwed. We'd be so screwed. Abby, now that we've done 100 episodes, this is actually kind of freaky, but whatever. We have like 120 hours.
I literally have nothing to hide. Like, when there's so many people, I know that there's people that are seriously concerned about their privacy online. Like, I know people that are like, oh my gosh, like, Google is not safe because then your search history, blah, blah, all this stuff. I'm like, you're not going to find anything of value. You're going to find simple, healthy crockpot dinner ideas. Like, you're not going to find any. I'm like, search away. Literally, you're going to see a lot of heyday usage recently.
Yeah.
My phone was connected to the car on the way here, and Matt and I were like talking, trying to be productive in the car ride, and then all of a sudden you hear I got exposed. I was playing Heyday.
Okay, I'm gonna expose you right now. So Abby played Heyday. It's like a app on your phone. It's a game, like, all the time growing up. And then she just did a brand deal with them. And so, like, with doing the brand deal, obviously she's been playing a lot again. And now she's addicted. Now I can't get her to freaking stop. I'm like, dude, chill. You're being like a middle schooler, okay? I get it. Like, you like this game.
I'm not addicted, but...
You're addicted. What are you talking about?
I just need to go back frequently because there's a lot of things on timetables there. I can't let my wheat sit out.
Yeah.
I gotta replant.
Yeah.
Gotta worry about my chickens.
You know what's weird about, like, a lot of these games is they're mimicking real life things that people actually have to do to survive or used to do to survive. And it's like you get a quicker dopamine hit, though, because it's like you just have to tap the screen. It's like, harvested your wheat. Okay, now you're milking your cow.
Well, I'm not playing it feeling like an actual farmer.
I know, but I feel like it gives you the dopamine hit of what farmers used to get back in the day. Like, after they'd have a long days of work, and they're like...
There is a sense of accomplishment you get. I will agree with that.
Yeah.
All I'm just saying is that if anything got seriously hacked with my searches or anything, I don't think I'd be actually concerned at all.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even the weird things I've Googled, it's because I read it in a book and I was trying to figure out what it was. Like, I read Butcher and Blackbird. The most crude, I don't know if crude's even the word.
Yeah.
But just like overtly sexual book. Mm-hmm. I had to Google stuff. I didn't know. I'd never seen that word before in my life. So you can see that'd be embarrassing.
That's the thing is, like, we are so vulnerable on these podcasts, which is weird, but at the same time we constantly change as people, so it's kind of nice to know, like, okay, well, sure, maybe I said something stupid in the past, and also, like, I don't know of anybody that's ever not said something stupid. I don't know if I've never met a perfect person before. I haven't personally, but it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to be like, maybe I'm, like, vulnerable on this thing, but I'll be a different person a year from now. So, like, you can look back and you can learn from who you were back then.
Are you learning anything new?
Oh yeah, I've learned so much. I do think
this entire year has been a really, really big year of growth for us in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like, in preparation for this episode, I, like, went back and looked at all of, like, our 2024 like camera roll. I'm like, oh my gosh, first of all, we did so much. But also, just, like, looking back at the beginning of the year, I was like, I obviously look so different, but I just remember, like, more than anything, I feel so different. Like,
the first thing that you pointed out to me, you're like, Matt, my boobs.
Yeah, I lost them.
You were like,
we gained so many things this year, but we lost the boobs. There was a lot to be gained, but 2 things were lost.
you ever thought about doing stand-up? You'd be pretty good.
No.
I would go to your show.
You would be the only one.
I'd be in the front row.
Actually, no. Here's the thing I know is that I would have a big... I feel like I could pull a crowd of people that would be there cheering me on, but they would just hype me up, and I'd be like, no, that wasn't good.
Abby, if you actually want to do stand-up, people would actually come. Like,
I'm not funny.
I'll be your promoter. I'll promote it. I'll be like, Abby Howard stand-up. Get your tickets here.
No, I would not be funny. Also, why do I feel like female comedians are probably one of the most criticized?
It's hard.
No, but female specifically.
Well, because comedians, right? Like, you have to dance across the line. There's like a very gray area, right?
And it's more okay for men to be like crude.
Men can get away with that stuff more than women typically. It's like how a man can get away with sleeping around. Like a dude could sleep with 50 different women, and you're like, well, that's just a guy. But a woman who sleeps with 50 different men, it's like, that's
the patriarchy.
Which is ridiculous, right? That's ridiculous. But hey, we're working on that, and we're trying to call out that BS.
I can't believe I just figured it out. Like, you just explained why. Because I do feel like female comedians
it makes me so mad though when people like call a woman a slut or something. I get infuriated because I'm like,
I know you talk about it a lot.
That doesn't exist for men.
I know.
It doesn't. Like, why are you demonizing this person for that when that doesn't exist for, like, guys don't get in trouble for that.
It's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Side note, speaking of comedians, we should go see Nate Bargatze in Vegas. He's coming in January, so we should.
Oh my gosh! Wait, let's go.
I want to go. Do you actually want to go? Or
I'll go. I love Vegas.
Can you get him on this podcast?
Well, probably. He has a podcast.
Actually,
Nate has his own podcast, so maybe he'd want to come on. Yeah, he is like huge. We went to see his show in Phoenix, and there was like, what was that, like 20,000 people there?
Well, he's
crazy.
been on SNL like twice since then too.
I know.
Like,
that's
the host.
Insane. That's insane.
I want to go to that. That would be funny. Anyway, I did so much this year. Should we just kind of like start with the recap?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go ahead and start us off, babe.
Thank you to Laundry Sauce for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. If there is something I appreciate, it is good smelling laundry, you guys.
And that's because I smell sometimes. I'm very stinky.
Okay. We are fighting some tough stenches in this house between Matt, the two boys, even me. I get really sweaty at the gym and it doesn't always smell nice. That's why I love Laundry Sauce. You guys, it is luxury premium laundry pods. They're also 4 times more concentrated with more cleaning power per ounce than typical watered down laundry detergents. And they don't just smell incredible, they also tackle the toughest stains without harsh chemicals that degrade your fabrics.
Can we just talk about this? Do you guys realize when you buy laundry detergent, you're basically buying water? Like, you're buying water. So when you buy Laundry Sauce, you know that you're buying a very high quality cleaning ingredient, because they're not just putting a ton of water in there to water it down and make you feel like you're buying more detergent. It's so high quality that there's no need to put the water in. Does that make sense?
Exactly. And you can also set your Laundry Sauce on autopilot and save an extra 15 to 20% off every order when you subscribe. And I think probably the best part about Laundry Sauce is that they offer a full money back guarantee. So if you don't get better smelling, cleaner laundry, you get a full refund. No questions asked. I think that just proves how much they're sure that you're going to love their product. We have the scent Siberian Pine and a couple others, but we've been really loving the Siberian Pine, especially in the winter. It's a very nice, clean, elevated scent. You got to check them out. And for a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off your entire order when you use code UNPLANNED at laundrysauce.com. That's 20% off your order at laundrysauce.com with promo code UNPLANNED. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell good, look good, feel good with Laundry Sauce. We rang in the new year in Montana.
Yeah, I taught you how to snowboard, which, I mean, that wasn't the first time you snowboarded. You refreshed me. But you did pretty good. Like, you actually went down some blues.
I haven't snowboarded since having 2 children.
Yeah.
I went down blues.
Yeah, you did some the blue squares.
That's pretty dope.
You were great.
I got my veneers.
Veneers.
I had temps on over the holidays, and then I got my, like, actual teeth. The conclusion is... best decision ever. I love having these.
What's crazy to me is with the nature
I still just like stare at them. I like the way they look.
That's awesome. No, that's the most important thing. Like, you being happy with it, and you just like doing, obviously, like, people should do what makes them happy to an extent, right? Like,
this
if it makes you happy to murder people,
screen, everybody.
Okay, like, people should do what makes them happy. But obviously, like, if it makes you happy to murder people, you know, that's not okay.
See, look at you taking it to the extreme.
You know, that's not, like, we shouldn't be doing that. But you doing that for yourself.
You want to know the one downside of me getting my teeth done?
What is it?
I used to look identical to my brother, and now we look a little less alike because we had matching teeth.
You guys do look. I actually have noticed that. I'm like, wow, I have the female version of Blake. which is crazy.
Do you ever feel slightly like, man, Blake's
it does
a good
weird me out
dude.
sometimes. I just try to like push it out of my
brain. Do you
brain.
think Blake's a really good looking?
Never ask me that question again.
Okay. I'm a little sad that we used to have twinsy teeth, and now mine are perfect and his aren't. So no, I'm just kidding. But that was a fun thing that I got done that will be here for a long time.
The reason you and Blake look so much alike and why our boys look so much alike, it's the Biswell genealogy. Like it is strong. Like I have a picture on my phone of Griffin and Augie together when we took him to Disney, and it looks identical to a picture of your dad and his brother when they were kids.
Really?
They just have this like certain look, this certain like they're
Is
like,
it the nose?
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I don't think
the
it's
cheeks.
I think it's the cheeks. I think the cheeks
Okay.
the cheeks are definitely part of it. Like
Yeah.
having like, fuller cheeks.
Chubby cheeks. You can say it.
But it's so crazy to be like, oh my gosh, our boy, like you can clearly see that our boys look so similar to your dad and his brother, which is wild.
I really just wanted little clones of you. I mean, I think they're perfect and adorable.
I think, and they're going to change as they get older. Like I used to look a lot like my mom, and now people I think say I look more like my dad.
Really, I still think you look more
so
like
it'll
your
be
mom.
interesting to see once the boys are all grown up, will they look more like you, more like me? I don't know. But right now they look so much like you. They're like little Abbies walking around. It's so cute.
We interviewed Kay and Tay on the podcast.
Yes. That was
in January.
Oh my gosh, that's a cool.
Wow, we did them twice last year.
I know we did have them on twice. The first time was for just like a genuine, fun, like
that was
regular
our first
episode.
time meeting them, so that was fun.
Yeah, and the second time having Kay and Tay on was when they were, getting some hate online, which I always hate. I hate it whenever creators of any kind get any sort of like negativity, because it's just
totally.
It just sucks. Like you just feel bad for them. Like no matter what. Like even if they actually did something wrong, like I still feel bad for them, because people, it's so easy to be like, oh, you don't, just like brush the comments aside, whatever, until you're actually in the hot seat, and then you're like, this sucks, like this freaking sucks,
Yeah.
I remember can I be honest? I was so nervous for that interview when we were interviewing Kay and Tay. I just wanted to do, like, I wanted to be like kind and cordial and like considerate to them as friends, because we'd had them on the show before, and
I would consider them friends.
Of course. But then like I felt this like obligation of trying to get all the facts straight when we were, helping them tell their story, right? Because they wanted to tell their story on our show. That way they could clear the air about the hate they were getting and all that. So we were trying to be like, official interviewers, but now I look back and I'm like, do I regret that? Like, maybe we should have like not taken the stance as much of being like straight up interviewers and instead just been more of ourselves, I guess. Because it's not like I work for the freaking news, like you don't work for the news. We're just like a couple that lives in Arizona, mm-hmm. Am I overthinking this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm overthinking it.
It's okay. We went to New York in February.
That was an amazing trip.
That actually reminded me, New York is magic.
Yeah.
New York City is magic. That was so, like, everyone's always like, New York, I wouldn't want to live there. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to live there either, but I want to visit a lot because it's so, there's just something about it.
It just was very magical.
Yeah, we saw a Broadway show. It was like in and out situation, but there's just something about the hustle and bustle. Just feels official. Feels like this is a real thing we got going on.
Yeah.
We went to Utah with the Beastons.
Yeah.
Did you forget? Like, you kind of tend to forget about things.
With the Beastons, there are friends that we see like once a year. Like I feel like we all hang out like in January, and then it's like, all right, see you guys. We don't really see them for another year. That's how it's been for the past couple of years. But it's good. Yeah, we got to go snowboarding. We got to do a podcast episode with them.
That was fun.
We got to, we went to, not IHOP, but what's the original Pancake House? That place is so good.
Oh, nothing
so good.
like IHOP either.
Yeah, it's way better than IHOP. But the original, they have one of those
Dutch babies.
Yes, they have one in Utah. I think they have a couple in Utah, but I don't know what it is. People in Utah love breakfast food, and they do a good job of breakfast food.
They do a good job of food in general, I'd say. We've always had really good food in Utah.
All of our friends in Utah happen to be like incredible cooks.
I took a solo trip with Augie to Springfield for my friend's engagement.
Nice.
That was fun and actually pretty stressful. Augie was just a difficult baby, and he was still very much a baby at that point. He was like 6 months old.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my goodness, trying to balance like everything and like exclusively pumping and like I was sleeping in different places every night. That was a good growth moment for me as a mom. I went to California with Two-Faced.
When are these things happening, by the way? Because we were on January. Did this happen in February?
Yep.
Are you on February
I'm
now?
on February.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't talk about what happened at the end of January, though. Lost my grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Not a good way to start the year.
Do you feel like you are doing better?
I thought I was, and then like reminders,
Yeah.
like you buying that polarized extra gum.
Yeah.
It just like sends me down like it's like waves, they always describe it like waves, like, oh, that felt like a big wave, hitting me. But and like the holidays, super hard. First Christmas without him, and first New Year, like started the year off without him. Like, it's true. Like, I never really understood what people meant about, like, what do they call it? Like, anniversaries with grief or whatever. I never really understood that until now. And it's like you start to wonder, you're like, why is this hurting so much more right now out of the blue? And then you find out, like, oh, this was the day that we found out about his diagnosis. And, like, your body just kind of knows, I feel like, that grief or, like, those time markers.
Is that what happened? You weren't feeling well one day and you were like, why is today so awful? And you realized it was the anniversary of him finding out
it's like things like that happen a lot. Or, like, sometimes, like, Thanksgiving. Remember, Thanksgiving was really hard. Thanksgiving evening.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't think I'll ever not miss him.
It's so sad because, yeah, I mean, like, I didn't know if we were going on a trip to Vegas a couple weeks ago, and I was just getting gum. Like, it was, like, so silly. I was like, I'm going to get some gum, and I was, like, asking the cashier, like, what's the best gum you have? Like, what's your favorite flavor? And then another guy was like, what's your favorite flavor?
I was trying to get you not to get that flavor.
And
I was like, get wintergreen. Get this one.
And I didn't realize... the reason that I ended up getting the flavor that your grandpa got was did you eventually say that
I
was the one?
told you in the car.
You told me in the car.
Yeah.
Because I think eventually I landed on that flavor, but I'd forgotten that was what your grandpa liked to chew all the time. And then you started crying, and then I thought, oh crap, like what did I do? But I didn't realize that, like, seeing that flavor was gonna have that effect on you.
Yeah, I feel like ever since he stopped smoking, like, he always wanted things like cough drops, gum, like, he still, like, wanted something like that. And, yeah. Something that happened in March was you shaved your head.
Worst decision ever. I should have never done that.
That's the weirdest thing. I literally got home, and, like, your friend was over, and I was like, hi, and you guys were, like, acting strange. But I was like, Matt's always weird, so I'm not gonna... It could be anything.
Yeah.
Then, boom. You had no more hair.
I had no more hair. And, at first I was like, this looks so tough. I look back at pictures. Gosh, was that bad. Gosh, was it bad. Like, my hair is just... I have such thin, fine hair. And it just doesn't... You can see straight to my scalp. It's just scalp all the way. I look like I'm bald practically,
Yeah.
It made me look like I was 20 years older than I actually am. Seriously, I was seeing comments.
Your hair looks amazing right now.
Thank you. A big part of it is just getting a good barber, like having a good haircut like this. My hair hasn't really changed all that much from last year. I mean, I've been taking stuff, and I've been open about this on the podcast, but I've been taking stuff to help with hair loss, but it's really just the haircut.
I don't believe you.
It's the haircut.
Well, April looks like it was a pretty standard month. Like, we just went to the zoo and like hung out with friends. It was like a restful time.
Yeah.
What happened in May? Let's see.
We got the opportunity to interview Ginger Duggar right after interviewing Jill Duggar, which is crazy.
That wasn't right after, Matt. Jill was...
Should we interview every single Duggar member of the Duggar family? I feel like that'd be kind of cool.
It would be an honor.
Was it us or was it them that said collectible? Was that a stupid joke that I said? I can't remember when we like did the when we
I don't think they said that.
Okay. Yeah, I probably made that joke.
Okay.
Okay.
In May, also, our sons were bring bearers for the first time.
Yes.
That was so cute. Them in those little suits. Kind of wasting money, though, because I feel like they never once wore.
Yeah.
They couldn't keep them on.
What's up with that? Like, spending a lot of money on little kids' clothes?
It wasn't. It was from Amazon. They were cheap.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. But, yeah, little kids, they just grow up so fast.
Hot take I have now on laundry for toddlers is I'm not going to fight the stains.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to let them happen.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that would literally be my life's job at this point.
Even poop stains. You're going to leave those in.
If it's a stain, yeah, but usually poop, like, it'll clean off.
Yeah.
But they're not really pooping through their clothes at this point. That would be very odd if that happened.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, candy cane. They got red candy cane all over their shirt. And I'm like,
Crazy
I'm going to soak it, but, like, if it doesn't come off, I'm not going to be fighting that.
They get dirty, though, man. Like, our kids.
Thank you to Hungry Root for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. In 2025, I have kind of set the loose goal of eating at home as much as possible. Obviously, there's times where it's not going to work out, but I want to set myself up for success, and that's why I'm really excited about Hungry Root. It's basically like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist all wrapped up in one. They take care of your weekly grocery shopping, recommending healthy groceries and meals tailored to your tastes, nutrition preferences, and health goals. We got our shipment recently, and Matt was like, hey, babe, I'm going to go run and grab some food really quick. I was like, no, please. We just started the year. Please let me cook you some lunch. He's like, no, it's going to take too long. And then I was like, no, just wait. We have Hungry Root in the fridge. It will not take long. And we whipped up some delicious steak quesadillas, if I do say so myself.
Wait, those steak quesadillas were Hungry Root?
Yeah, and we've gotten other meals that were really, really good. The barbecue chicken on the ciabatta rolls was delicious, and the kids also really, really loved those. We had some chicken and potatoes and broccoli. So many good things, and they're actually so simple and so quick. You will be shocked. I'm talking like 15 minutes. You have a delicious meal ready. And they also have snacks. We had chocolate-covered pretzels, yogurt, granola, so many good things. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as I do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/unplanned and use code unplanned. That's hungryroot.com/unplanned, code unplanned to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/unplanned, code unplanned.
They'll get like a whole entire cup full of sand in their crock, and I'll take their crock off, and it's just
yeah.
After taking them to the playground, it's crazy.
They're
I don't
a
know how
mess.
they do that.
Yeah, that's their specialty.
And that's why our floors inside our house are so sandy. Was
it June that we recorded your music video that you literally never posted?
Yes, that is exactly.
Did we even talk about that on this podcast?
I think I hyped it up for a little bit, and then and yeah, I never posted it.
Why not? You got insecure.
There's a whole backstory to it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't the right timing, I think. Like
Can I at least watch it?
Yeah, I thought I showed it to you.
No.
The finished product?
Never.
I don't know. I decided to scrap that one. Just it's tricky. The whole music thing that I did, that was like, I actually spent a lot of time doing music this past year. Learned a lot. Why are you looking at me like that?
You look sad.
Oh, well, it was sad, but it's okay.
Did you delete some of your songs?
I may have taken some of my songs down.
I knew you did.
How did you know?
Because people were asking me.
Oh, really?
And I also was like, no, and I tried to find them and they were gone.
Oh yeah, they were gone. Yeah. But the thing that I learned about how music works is most artists will write like over 100 songs and then pick the best like 5, pick the best 10. And what I was doing is I would like write a song, put it out, which is fine. But I think when you have more eyeballs on you, you're going to get a lot more scrutiny, which is totally like, I have to be able to deal with that as someone who, does social media, whatever. But yeah, I definitely made some mistakes. Like I definitely wish I could have, if I could go back and do it again, yeah, I would have made a lot of changes, but you live and you learn. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned from this year is in life, you either win or you learn, right? Like you can get all down and be like, oh, I lost, I failed this thing. But if you just get down and you focus on failure and you focus on losing, it does nothing for you. You just have to know that when an outcome doesn't go your way, you learn from it. And that's what I'm hoping to take from this year.
I'm just pissed off.
Why are you mad?
People are mean.
People are mean, but
here's
like
the thing, you would be a million times madder if people were mean to me
True.
than mad
Yeah,
if
that's
they
true.
were, you know what I mean? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Screw all those people.
Yeah, I mean, like, people,
For real.
and I feel bad for people that are mean, you know, they've probably been through
I
something.
don't.
They've probably been through
They should knock
something
it off.
traumatic, or I don't know, like maybe they had a really hard childhood. Maybe they just lost a loved one. You know, you never know what someone is going through. Because I think people that feel the need to say
A lot of
mean.
people go through hard times and then aren't an asshole. So
I just think that like
you can struggle, but to put that on other people, like you are still responsible for that, no matter what your life was.
fair.
So that's all I'm gonna say about that. In June, we also went to Sedona with your family.
Yeah, we
You
did.
know, my core memory from that was
What?
your dad and Griffin popping the balloons on the cactus.
Yes.
That was so cute, and that's where Griffin learned that cactuses mean owie, owie, owie.
Yeah.
And that was really cute.
He's better at understanding complete sentences now, but back then, I feel like I had to communicate using like one word.
Multiple times.
Yes, be like
Owie,
be
owie,
like,
owie.
cactus, owie, owie, owie. And then he saw that it popped, and he'd be like, cactus, owie, owie, owie. He would just like
Yeah.
keep saying that, and he knew that they were sharp, which is so cute.
I also had my Soap and Glory event, which made me feel like a real influencer because it was very, very like aesthetic, beautiful, over the top, really, really fun. I felt so spoiled. Too bad you couldn't go, Matt. It was a girls only event.
Well, okay, I thought people were asking about me though at the event. Was I supposed to go?
What?
Even because I thought you told me, even though it was like all these ladies, that people were like, "Where's Matt?" I thought, did they think I was making a cameo appearance at your special ladies event?
Oh, maybe to see me.
Yeah, I could have worn pink. I could have
Wait, who
pulled
said
up in
that?
a pink suit. I thought you told me that once you
Oh.
got back from the event.
I blacked out. We also went on our anniversary trip at the very end of June because our 5-year wedding anniversary was the beginning of July.
How the frick have we been married for 5 years?
It's crazy. I love it.
I was looking back at old pictures like last night, and it's weird. You realize how much life you've lived when you see yourself living in different states, different houses, different, apartments. It's just, we've spent so much time together over the past 5 years of marriage, and we started dating 8.5 years ago. So like
It's wild when you think about that. Like a lot of people are just now getting married,
yeah,
and we've been married for 5.5 years.
Uh-huh.
We have some history
we got almost a decade together.
together. Yeah, we've celebrated the past 9 birthdays of mine together. That is crazy.
Unreal.
In July, we spent the whole month of July in Nashville, which was fun.
Yeah.
Kind of lonely for me, actually.
Really? Just because we didn't have
Yeah.
like deep community there?
Yeah, I just like to see people every single day.
Yeah. We did meet some cool people, like our friends Kyle and
Oh,
Renee.
totally.
They were super fun.
I love them.
Super chill.
And in July is when we had Reese on the podcast.
Yes. I feel like she was probably one of your favorite
She
podcast
was like my
guests.
highlight from this year, I would say.
Why Reese? Why
She is
her?
literally sunshine in human form. Like, just darling. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
the word darling is just Reese.
Yeah.
She is so genuine, sweet, kind.
It was
fun.
a bummer that we didn't get to interview Will that day when we interviewed her.
I know.
I guess
power
he
couple.
was at a bachelor party that day, so
was.
he couldn't make it. But that is the weird thing.
Maybe one day
Like,
we'll have them both on. Let's
Okay.
put it out for 2025. We have them both on.
Yeah, we should, because I think the new season of the show comes out on Netflix.
That would be fun.
That is, I will say, the weirdest thing about doing our show is we'll be like watching Netflix, and Abby's like, "Oh, that'd be cool to interview that girl from the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader show," and then boom, like a week later,
That was so cool.
we're in her living room talking to her about being on the show. It's just weird. It's
Yeah.
really crazy.
That was really cool. We also had Sadie on in Nashville, which was really cool
That
to get
must
to
have been
meet
crazy
them.
for you because you grew up
know.
watching Sadie.
Well, yeah, I remember her on Dancing with the Stars, but then I read her book. I checked out the public library.
Yeah.
Live Original or Live Out Loud or one of those.
Yeah.
Live Out Loud? Yeah.
Live Original
Live
is
Original.
the book.
In August, we had a birthday party.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah, we did.
birthday party.
2 back-to-back birthday parties.
So fun. I cannot believe that in August is when we had officially not a baby anymore.
I know.
We had a baby for 2 years straight, basically.
That was the end of 2 Under 2.
Yeah.
202 is wild.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking the other day, I was like, man, I want to slow down time. Like, I want to freeze time just because.
Now
like,
they're just growing like weeds.
they're growing so fast, and Griffin already looks like, I mean, he's a full-on little boy now. It's not like he's a baby. Like, no, he's like a little boy.
He's going to start playing soccer.
Yeah. I just
Big kid stuff.
Bought him some soccer cleats, some shin guards, soccer
so
socks.
Cute.
And I'm like, dude, I want to soak all this in because
it's going fast.
This is the time I've been dreaming of, you know? Our relationship is so sweet, and I just want to squeeze him every time I see him. I just love being around
every time.
Those kids.
Mommy, Daddy, like so excited.
That is actually probably one of the best parts about being a parent is like whenever you come home from, you know, whatever, like say I'm gone for a little bit and I come back.
Or even if you're upstairs and come back downstairs.
Exactly. Like I leave my office and they see me, they freak out. It's like I'm Superman and I just like showed up
so cute.
with a cape on. You know, it's really sweet. Mm-hmm. It feels good to be loved like that. But then we love them so much. So I think maybe the reason they freak out is because they know that we love them so much. So they get excited to see us too.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah.
In August, we also got to meet Chari, who I can say she's probably one of the kindest and strongest people. She was insane. She's an Olympic athlete.
Chari Hawkins, such an incredible person to meet, interview. Pretty crazy that she competed in the Olympic Games. That's incredible. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine like training that much to compete in the Olympic Games?
And she was to burn with me the next day.
I know.
Felt so cool getting to bring an Olympic athlete to burn with me.
Yeah.
She's a beast. In September, we had a friend's wedding, which was fun. We went on a family vacation. October, we moved, which was crazy.
Really, I think that was great. I think it was a great time to move.
I'm so glad you're saying that.
Love the new neighborhood. We've met so many more people in the same stage of life as us.
Yeah.
It's just hard to be friends with people that aren't going through the same things you're going through. Like if you don't have any kids and you're single and then all your friends are like married and have kids, I feel like that would be tricky. Same thing is true.
It's just hard to see each other, you know, because you're operating on completely different time zones in a way. You know?
Or like, I don't know, say you are working a certain job and you have odd work hours because of whatever job you have. That would make it harder to be friends with people that aren't in a similar stage of life to you. And so I think having friends that also have kids around the same age as ours, game changer. We can relate on so much, and we're free around the same times of the day because our kids aren't napping. Like it's really good.
Having community is always a necessity, but I feel like especially when you have little ones, your community is kind of like it has to be uniquely tailored to that stage of life more so than other stages. We also went to Disney the end of October and into November, which was a really, really sweet trip. That's like the first time I was like, wow, we have 2 toddlers. Yeah. And like Augie started to feel like less baby and they're interacting more.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I was depressed in 2024. I know that sounds really crazy, but I was, and I started doing therapy, and it was so helpful. And the reason that I love BetterHelp is it's entirely online. You can have a therapy session from the convenience of your own home. You can be on your couch, in bed, wherever you want to be. And if you don't like your therapist, you can switch anytime, free of charge. It costs you nothing, no questions asked. You're just like, I'm not really vibing with this therapist, and you switch. It's that easy. I love how convenient BetterHelp is. I think that's the biggest factor and why I tell people about it, because if you're going through a hard thing and you just don't know what to do, you can get a therapy session sometimes like the next day with BetterHelp. I think mine, when I tried it out, it took me a couple days, but it was in less than a week that I had a therapy session scheduled, and that was so helpful for me. So if you are struggling with maybe a relationship or your own personal stuff, who knows what you're going through? Everyone's going through something. Definitely give BetterHelp a try because it's so convenient and it's online. I think it's a really good option.
BetterHelp serves over 5 million people worldwide. So there's a good chance that if 5 million other people in the world like it and it works for them, then it'll work for you. They also have more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. And like Matt said, you can easily switch therapists at no extra cost if it's not a good fit for you. So write your story with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/unplannedpodcast to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/unplannedpodcast. December was crazy with my birthday and all the holidays, family visiting in and out like crazy. So many events and gatherings.
Can we talk about your birthday?
Yes.
I feel like that might have been my favorite birthday of yours that we've had.
Really?
Every year for Abby's birthday, I like to send it. I like to send it. It started when Abby celebrated her 18th birthday. I showed up at her house in a massive present, and I popped out and started singing.
That was in 2016.
This is all the way back in 2016. I skipped school the next day. She skipped school the next day, and it was a magical birthday. I took you out to get sushi because I knew that you liked sushi at the time, and ever since then, I was like, I need to always go big for your birthday. So that's why this year I was like, we're going to Vegas, we're going to the spa, we're getting massages, and we're gonna see a show, and it was unreal.
It was really good for our marriage too. Like, it was just like really fun to have that time in the car on the way there to connect, and they're just like really reflect and wind down, but then also like do something fun and make a new memory together. Like, It was the perfect concoction to have like a bonding, restful, and fun experience. So you nailed that birthday. You're setting the bar high. You are setting the bar high.
What are you going to do for my birthday next time? What are you going to do?
Something huge.
Are you taking me to Paris? I don't know.
We're going to Paris,
haven't been there. I would love to go.
Paris.
Actually, we should go to Paris at some point. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because I'm
terrified to take our kids on the flight.
Dude, what if we would have ever moved to Paris? Because the reason we moved to Hawaii was because we did a vacation to Hawaii, and the vacation we did to Hawaii was that was like just that was all chance because we're deciding between Paris and Hawaii, and we chose Hawaii. So if we would have chosen Paris instead back while we were in college, maybe we would have ended up in Paris.
I don't think that we would have. I really don't. But I like the dreaming. I like the way you think.
Thanks, babe.
So we asked you guys on Instagram some like audience questions. What do you want to know from us for like this year? Seems like a really big question that keeps coming up is, do you guys want a girl?
Why are you looking at me? Abby kept bringing babies up to me the other day at a party we were at. She was like, "Hey Matt, look at this cute baby."
No, he means like I wasn't bringing it up in conversation. I was actually holding physical babies.
No, she physically was bringing up actual human babies, one after the other.
So cute.
Because our friends have babies, and you brought up like 3 different babies. It was crazy. I was like, "Where are you finding all of these babies?"
I just have a good.
And so I think it was clear from that Abby already has baby fever, which is wild. I mean, like that. Whatever,
it's not wild.
The hormones or whatever's going on is
not
like
wild at all.
Is working over. The fact that you want to have babies after how hard both your births were, I'm like, you're tough.
It was nothing.
You're tough as nails.
No,
okay?
I think that we've been trying not to talk about it, but in general, like, we're pretty content with 2 right now. Like, we might be done. But it's also hard to say that when we're so young and our kids are so young. But like in a hypothetical situation where we have more kids, I'm like, Matt, you would think that I would feel the pressure to have a girl since we have 2 of the same gender. We have 2 boys. But I don't feel that pressure at all. Like, and I know some people do, and it's not a bad thing at all. It's probably it is very, very normal. But for me, I'm like, I'm fine having 3, 4, 5 boys. Like, I would be totally fine with that. But I also feel on the flip side, like, what a sweet new experience to have a baby girl and like see what she's like and how she's different and who she like. So, I mean, if we were to have another baby, I would actually say, and I think this is coming from like a really honest part of my heart, I would be like 50-50. I would be just as happy. Like, I really would.
Yeah, I mean, I've always envisioned myself having all boys because I always had brothers, and in my head, it was like everyone has boys. Like nobody's how are these girls getting here? I don't know, because I have all brothers. No, but which one of our friends was it that he was like with his daughter, and I was like, that is a sweetest relationship. Like the daddy-daughter relationship, so cute, so cute. And that was like probably the first time that I thought,
was
man,
probably
I'd love
Tom and his daughter.
No, it wasn't Tom. I mean, like such a sweet relationship, but it was somebody else that I was thinking, man, that's so cool. I would love that. I mean, I would love to have a daughter, but I already have 2 boys, so we're gonna have to put a pin in this conversation until another year or so.
Until another year or so. Do you think we'll live in Arizona forever? Is what people want to know.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I was going to say yes. So We have
I mean,
some
hey,
private
you're my
conversations
boss
that
though.
need
You
to
call the
happen.
shots, so whatever you want, babe. I mean,
I'd
hey.
be fully content to be in Arizona forever, but I think forever
I mean,
feels dramatic when
I
we're
said we were
26
gonna live in
years
Hawaii
old.
for a year. I mean, I said we were gonna live in Hawaii forever, and look how that turned out.
But yeah, like I think forever feels dramatic no matter what
Yeah.
sense. But I definitely see Arizona being
Yeah.
home base for a long time.
So if Abby changes her mind, we'll move somewhere
Shut
else.
up! You act like I call the shots.
You don't think you call the shots?
No, I think we both do.
Okay. No, yeah, we both call the shots in this relationship. I actually do like Arizona. Why are you looking at me like that? We like Arizona.
You're acting so sus for
I'm
being
just-
someone that's like, I know you're being honest right now, but like people are gonna be like, that doesn't feel real.
I'm just messing around. No, Arizona's great.
Matt, who's a dream guest on the podcast?
Oh man, Justin.
like you have so many.
Justin and Haley.
You're serious?
Justin and Haley. Yeah,
Wow.
That'd be
Reach
insane.
for the stars, man.
that'd be insane. Hey, we got if you say it out loud, maybe there's a chance.
Okay.
Manifest that. I'm manifesting it.
Do you think you would be starstruck?
Dude, that's the thing. I don't really get starstruck anymore because you sit down with enough people that are, famous or whatever. It just, you don't really see them as anything other than human, Mm-hmm. Like, I think we start to, in our brain, make people that are famous into some magical person that is like more than just human. Everyone's just a person. And so, yeah, I'd get super nervous with certain podcast guests, but I've really chilled out just because you see everybody as just a human being.
I would agree. But I can still be like amazed by people, like their talents and accomplishments.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
But it's different from being like starstruck by like their very presence. Or
Like
them.
I was starstruck when we interviewed Taylor Lautner, but that was one of our first interviews. Like I was still figuring out how to be an interviewer and how to talk to people. But now I feel like I'm so much more comfortable asking people questions.
Gotcha. Sometimes
Yeah.
I still get a little nervous. Will you ever go on tour?
That's more of a you question, baby.
You want to?
I don't really care. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really thought through that
For
at
me,
all.
I'm just like, what the crap would we do?
What would we talk about?
Yeah. Like, I'm like, what? It would be so boring. Like, I don't know. What do you want me to do out there? But
Yeah, when you go to a live show for a podcast, do they just like sit on stage and talk?
I don't know, man.
I guess that's what they do.
I think maybe we don't have the setup for that to be like entertaining.
Yeah.
We're just really normal. Like just talking about our kids and life, but maybe. Hey, you never say never.
Yeah.
How do you keep the spark alive in your marriage is what our audience wants to know.
Date nights.
I knew what you were thinking.
Date
in your
nights.
head.
I'm so much more than that, Abby. Come on. No, I think it's just spending quality time together.
Yeah,
Seriously.
quality time is really important.
Like that was why we chose when we went on our Vegas trip for Abby's birthday to just drive for 5. We didn't fly there. We just drove and drove 5 hours from Phoenix to Vegas. And we just talked the entire time. It was amazing. It was like one of the highlights of my month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quality time is super, super important for a marriage, I think, especially like as you're especially transitioning into parenthood.
Yep.
But then throughout parenthood, because you hear about so many people that are in a marriage and then as soon as the kids leave the house, then it falls apart.
Yeah.
And, it's something that we always say, it's a muscle. You got to keep working it out and exercising it. You're either growing closer together or growing further apart. And, we're a normal couple, a normal married couple that needs to work that out and have quality time. And it's been really beautiful and it's a blessing to be able to prioritize that, but it doesn't have to look extravagant. Like you put the kids to bed and then instead of just like turning on a show and zoning out, like maybe you just play a game together.
Yeah.
We read books together.
Yeah, we do read books.
Just like ask each other
Yeah.
a deeper question or just like do something different to shake yourself out of a routine. Like there's so many things you can do. Or we're not always perfect about this either. Like in
Yeah.
fact, we are not even close to being perfect at this, but it's definitely a goal that we have, like a common goal.
Yeah. I really do like car rides though with you because it allows for a space to have a really long conversation. Almost felt like we were at a sleepover in high school and we're just like hanging out and just chatting
That's how
about.
I felt last night too, just coming home from that party and like we were just chatting.
Yeah. What
Did you just have a loogie?
I did have a loogie in my
That's
throat.
so
I couldn't get it
gross.
out of there. I'm sorry. I had to swallow that thing.
So a couple people wrote in their favorite moments from the podcast. I feel like we just start with a heavy hitting one. Matt's Father Day birthday saga.
That was
a memorable moment from Unplanned Podcast 2024.
Yeah.
Thank you to Rosetta Stone for sponsoring this portion of today's episode.
Do you have a language that you're wanting to learn in 2025? I'm thinking about Spanish. My barber actually speaks Spanish. It's his first language, and I've been wanting to learn Spanish for so long, and I feel like Rosetta Stone just makes it really easy.
I feel like a lot of people are like me, where it's like we took a language, like it's usually Spanish, I feel like, in school, and it's like you know how to read a lot of it or a portion of it, but speaking it is a whole different ball game. And I feel like that's where Rosetta Stone can make it super easy to fill in those gaps, because they have really, really cool features. Like they have this speech recognition feature where they have built-in true accent, which gives you feedback on your pronunciation, which is insane. I can't believe that there's technology that can do that, but that way you don't sound like super not native and you're speaking another language. I think that's really, really cool. They've been a trusted language expert for 30 years with millions of users and 25 languages offered, like Spanish, French, Italian, German, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Dutch, Arabic, Polish, so many. And it helps you learn really, really fast. It immerses you in so many ways. There's no English translation, so you can really learn to speak, listen, and think in that language even. There's an intuitive process to help you pick up a language naturally, first with words and phrases, then sentences. And it's designed for long-term retention, which I feel like is the problem with a lot of language learning things. It's just an amazing value because it's a product that you purchase and then you have it for life. It's not like a subscription. It's not like a course that you have to renew and blah, blah, blah. You have it for life, and so you can always come back to it, and access to a new language, which is a great key to have. Start the new year off with a resolution you can reach. Today, Unplanned listeners can take advantage of this Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. Visit www.rosettastone.com/unplanned. That's 50% off unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 50% off at www.rosettastone.com/unplanned today. How would you rate that moment?
I
from
never in a million
1 out of
years
10?
thought there'd be a People magazine article made about that. Did you know that? People magazine made an article about it.
Yeah,
Like,
I wish I didn't know these things.
but hey, now I can tell people I was on People magazine.
And what an accomplishment that is.
Mom, look at me. I'm on People magazine complaining about my birthday being on Father's Day.
Okay, but what would you rate that one out of 10? You have to include the emotional trauma that in there too.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, I can laugh about it now. At the time, I was like horrified. But yeah, I mean,
I'm going to give that one I'm honestly going to give it 2 out of 10.
Oh, you're giving it a 2.
Because it gets 2 stars back for being, it's kind of funny in hindsight.
Yeah, I'm like laughing about it. It's been enough time now that I can laugh about it. But it was painful at the time, but I can laugh about it now. Okay. I think it's funny now. I'm like, that is so stupid. I mean, the words I said too were so stupid as well. Like I obviously did not sound good at all. Another thing that
I don't think it did.
Another thing that I think didn't help at all.
I'm not cut out for this. I'll dig my heels in. I don't think it's stupid. I don't.
The funny thing is, like, if you look at our conversation though, the clip that we put out.
I don't watch our clips.
It was a clip that we put out. Should have never gone out, but it just made us look like it was like, well, you know, Father's Day and Matt's birthday are like really close, so we're not going to celebrate that this year. I just looked so selfish. I looked so like full of myself, you know, which is what me saying that was I being selfish, full of myself.
Okay, well, maybe my perspective comes from not watching our clips, but
yeah, Anyway.
In general, I don't think there's anything wrong with that controversy, but I didn't watch the clip, and maybe the clip made it look really bad. In which case, that's on us. So I guess we had that one coming. Another memorable moment from Unplanned Podcast was, this is what Katie said. Someone named Katie. Thank you, Katie, for watching our podcast. Abby's speaking about postpartum and how hard breastfeeding is.
It's been cool to see so many women come up to you and say
it is cool.
How they've been encouraged by you opening up. That's been really neat.
It is. I feel very like honored when people say comments like that. But then also I'm like, I don't want to be a spokesperson for like negativity around motherhood, because that's not at all how I feel about it. Like, I absolutely love being a mom, but I just don't think it does anybody favors when you're a mom and you're experiencing hard times and you feel like you can't express that. And you feel like everybody, I think that's one of the main criticisms about social media, is that it's only a highlight reel. It's only showing like the good things, and it's making it look like you're the only one, can make people feel like they're the only one struggling with something. And I feel like this podcast has been a really cool platform for me to open up about stuff like that without showing myself in the moment or our kids in that moment, because that would be a violation of privacy in my mind. But being removed from the situation and being able to talk about it, I'm like, I've seen so many beautiful things come out of being vulnerable in that way that I'm like, it was all worth it. What?
That's just so funny.
Never work with your husband, I swear to God.
Oh my gosh.
I was talking about something deep right there. See, this literally leads me to my next one. It says, anytime Matt says something out of pocket and Abby screams, Matt. Oh my God. I feel like I normally say Matthew James.
Oh my gosh. Maybe if I took my ADHD medication, I would be better about that crap. I wouldn't be saying so many unhinged things. I have seen the comments, so people are like, hey, I appreciate Matt asking the questions everybody wants to know. You know, like when I just like ask something that's like totally out there, it's like everybody wants to know it.
Do you realize in the moment that it's an out there question?
It depends. Half the time, yes. Half the time, half the time I'm like, I don't realize it until after the fact.
You're like, I let my curiosity get the better of me.
That's actually what's crazy. When you watch yourself, this is the weirdest thing about doing a podcast.
I don't watch our podcast.
I know you don't watch podcasts, but like when you watch it back, it's like very interesting to see how people see you, because then you can see how it's like, it helps you be more self-aware. If that makes sense, right? Like you have a lot more self-awareness when you watch the footage back. In the moment, sometimes it's hard to be as self-aware when you're living something.
Maybe that's why you're sitting there being like, I feel bad for the people that leave mean comments. And then I'm like, no, screw them. No excuses. Be nice.
Well, you just never know what someone's gone through, you know?
I get that. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, if anyone used their...
We're all guilty of it, though. Like, think about any time that you've done something bad or something, maybe you've done something like really bad in your life. Think about the situations that led you to do that thing.
What are you thinking of?
Nothing crazy. Like, you haven't killed anybody, you know? Like, so you're off the hook there. I'm just kidding. Abby, but I'm just saying, like, when everybody makes mistakes, right? But oftentimes people don't just like out of nowhere make a mistake. There's usually some sort of underlying situation that led them to do the quote unquote bad thing they did or say the mean comment they did, right? So I think you can't like take it as personally when you know that people are just dealing with hurt and they're taking it out on you. With anything too, like even in life, if someone's like mean to you at the grocery store and it potentially could ruin your day, you have to be like, hey, I can let this affect my day right now, or I can choose to be the bigger person. I'm not saying
it has to make you upset.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to react in any sort of way, but I'm just saying that you're in a dangerous area if people are allowed to do things that are unacceptable just because they've had bad things happen to them in the past. We can extend extra grace to people because they've had bad things happen, but it still doesn't make what they did all right.
Fair.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's still inexcusable, no matter what. Like it's inexcusable, and people can do inexcusable things, and people can excuse them and be kind in response, or turn the other cheek, or anything like that. But I mean, I think it's be nice. Period. Be a nice person. Period. In my mind.
That's fair.
And I think that is a universal thing. Are you comfortable with your children one day watching you talk about intimate topics?
I mean, we're going to have that talk with them one day.
Yeah.
That'll definitely be something that we have. I think, I guess I want them to like learn from us, I guess, like learn from our mistakes, learn from our wins, our losses. Like,
I'm not ashamed. Like, obviously I think there is appropriate time and place for any conversation, but I don't want my kids to think that I'm like, I don't know, above anything, totally.
And when our kids are going through puberty and like having all these different like
I want
thoughts,
transparency.
I want transparency, because I think that must feel very lonely for them to go through that and wonder, man, am I the only person that's having these desires? It's like, no, freaking everybody has those desires, dude. Like it's okay. You're normal. You're not weird.
I want to have a good open dialogue with our children. And I
Yeah.
think that's like just safer in general to just like be a safe place. And it's like no topic is off limits, I guess, is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. Obviously, there's an age there. Like if they were like 6 and watching our podcast, I'd be like, hey, that's a conversation that we're going to have later on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They also really, I don't think they'll have devices. So
Yeah.
are you still considering homeschool?
I think that's something that you've been really passionate about. I think
Yeah.
that's cool. I would be okay with our kids doing some regular school, but I do like how homeschool, you can cater the learning to them and help accelerate their learning.
Yeah. I love the idea of like having them with me longer. That's kind of like, and I think that I would be a good homeschool mom.
Oh, you totally
like,
would.
I think
You'd
that
be so good at
I
it.
went to school for it and I
Yeah.
would love to be able to use it.
Oh, you'd be incredible.
And like, I think that it'd be enjoyable for both of us. And if it's not a good fit, then I'm going into it with an open mind.
Yeah.
All that to say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that starts next year, preschool.
Holy crap. That's crazy.
Like he would be going to preschool otherwise in the fall.
Oh, my gosh. That's insane.
Yeah. It goes so fast.
Yeah.
Who has been your favorite guest on the podcast, and who do you want to interview again?
Oh, man. See, I don't even want to pick a
No,
favorite because there's
same.
been so many good people.
People ask us that all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it sounds so lame to just be like, I can't pick a favorite because there are so many I loved, and I'm like, but it's actually true.
Yeah. And I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish. Like it's been crazy that we've been able to get to do this and that you guys have been tuning in week after week. It's unreal. Like I'm proud, I'm thankful, I feel so blessed, and
Totally.
my overall hope is that the podcast has helped somebody, and I feel like it has. I feel like when we see people out in public that, especially come up to Abby and are like, hey, you really helped me get through that hard time after having 2 under 2 or going through postpartum, like that makes it all worth it. Or the girl that we met in Disney World while we were in Disney World with our kids that came up and told us how our videos really helped her through a tough, challenging time in her life. That's
Her
really
battle
cool.
with depression,
Yeah.
and this lady talking about us that she watched our podcast during her chemo. Like,
Yes.
that is something that is just, I have no other words, and it's so incredibly humbling.
Yeah.
And feel very undeserving, but also so grateful. And it's been really, really cool. Like I said, like just like people being so kind and receptive to like our genuine, authentic conversations and like just our life in general.
And this community is amazing because we've been able to raise money for St. Jude to help, bring an end to childhood cancer. We've also been able to together raise money to support Charity Water with our interview with Scott Harrison and everything he's doing to bring an end to the global water crisis. So you guys are incredible. And here's to another 100, baby. Here's to another 100.
Do you think we'll actually make it to another 100?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah. We got to keep it going.
Yeah. I feel so grateful. I really do. I don't have any other words for it. And I feel like if you were to meet me in person by happenstance, we could make really good friends.
Yeah.
If you like what you hear here, then I'm probably going to like you in return, and we could make a beautiful friendship.
No, that is actually the craziest thing. Anybody that we meet that tunes into the podcast, it's crazy how like quickly we vibe.
Automatically connected,
It's
yeah.
so, because like they already understand us, and even though we've never met them before, they probably are just a certain personality type.
Well, there's something
that
very
just vibes.
similar, like to us that
Yes.
that drew them to us. So then
Exactly.
it's like we can bond over that.
It makes
And
sense.
So
It's like
really
since
cool.
since our personalities kind of vibe with their personality, even though we've never met them before, it's like, yo, we could be friends. And we actually have friends that we've
A lot of
we've
friends.
made that literally found our podcast, and then we're like, hey, I like your podcast, and then we end up becoming like really good friends, which is so weird. That's crazy.
I love that. I'm such a big advocate for community and like meaningful, authentic friendships. And I don't know. I think that that's just a beautiful thing about life, and that we all are probably a little bit more lonely than you would think. So don't think that
Yeah.
you're the only lonely person, and like maybe make that your new goal for this year to
Yes.
to find more community. I know that's such a broad thing, but you can make it very tangible.
Yes.
Like for me, I'm like, join a group fitness class. There's so many people there that have similar schedules to you, obviously.
Yep.
And like, you know, might be in the same stage of life. So many different things there. Or like, you know, get plugged in at a church, go to a volunteer opportunity, serve with people.
Yeah.
Even just like, there's so like, go to the park. If there's other people with kids, other parents, be like, oh man, I love this park because my kids can burn out some energy and we can also get outside the house. And they're like, yeah, me too. And I'm like, how old's your kid? Just bring up a conversation. Next thing you know, you're grilling in your backyard together and the kids are in the sprinkler. Like there's so many tangible ways to make a broad goal like that happen and make it segmented and fragmented. So I just want to encourage you in that.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in for episode 100. This is insane.
And I say that ultimately just because I actually do view you guys as friends.
Yeah.
That was my connection point.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here.
Thank you for being our friend.
And letting us, you know, chat your ear off on your drive home from work or doing your laundry, whatever it may be. So go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. Well, we will see you in the next episode. Hope that you stay around to see episode 200 when that comes around.
We have a lot of fun guests coming.
We have actually a lot of really fun guests coming up. Yeah.
I can't believe we got to do them.
Yes. I can't believe we got to do them. That sounds inappropriate.
Do those interviews.
Okay.
Have those conversations.
Okay. Why are you whispering? All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye.